And as Boris Johnson is heading to Kyiv today, many Brits back home are focused on partygate. And to talk more about that, let's bring in France 24's Philip Turle. Philip, first, let's start with Ukraine. Boris is expected to be there this afternoon for talks. What kind of welcome can he expect, and what's he going to offer?
Okay, well, I think that we can all be sure that the welcome he's going to get in Kyiv when he gets there a little bit later on today is going to be a lot warmer than the welcome he's had in the House of Commons over the last few weeks, and particularly yesterday. He is going to Ukraine to show support for the Ukrainian leadership. He's due to meet with the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, later today. And what the British are going to offer is about 105 million euros worth of aid to help support the Ukrainian regime. I think the bottom line here, Jeannie, is that Boris Johnson wants to show support. He also wants to defy Russia and show that he is part of the Western group that is showing firm support for the Ukrainian leadership and does not want Russia to come into the country or to launch any kind of attack. And also, I think this is a message that Boris Johnson is keen to show back home in the UK, where, as we've been hearing recently, that he's been under a lot of pressure over the so-called partygate scandal. There's nothing better for a leader of a country to be seen on the world stage as a defender of peace and trying to stave off war. And this is obviously going to do him good as far as public opinion, at least he hopes so, as far as public opinion is concerned back in the United Kingdom. The only problem here is that because of the partygate scandal yesterday, Boris Johnson missed a phone call, a very important phone call with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. The number 10 office is saying this is just a delay that can happen quite often. But because of all the goings on in Parliament yesterday, that call did not take place.
Now let's get back to the UK. Following the publication of this report from Sue Gray yesterday, what do we think now? What are the prospects for Boris Johnson's survival as Prime Minister?
Okay, first thing is he's not out of the woods. It does not mean the publication of this report that he is sure that he's going to keep hold of his position as Prime Minister. Basically, what Boris Johnson is doing, what we heard yesterday in the House of Commons, is he is using this second inquiry by the Metropolitan Police as a sort of firewall, saying that we need to wait until that report is published before any firm decisions can be made. He's going to do some changes in number 10 Downing Street, going to replace the chief whip, move one or two people about, try to make it a little bit more able to deal with the vast numbers of people there in a bid to say, well, the parties took place and I didn't know about them. He's also using other methods to try to protect himself by saying, well, I'm going to push on with my visit to Ukraine. I'm going to carry on with the rollout of vaccines for the COVID crisis. So we'll see how long he can keep this going. He's got some support back from Conservative MPs, not because they like him, but because they don't really know who they could hand it over if he was given the boot, who would take over and who would stand a chance of getting Britain through or getting the Conservative Party through the next polls to win another term in office.
Philip, thanks for that. France 24's Philip Turle.